the most in-demand industry that is actually always hiring. There's an invisible force that powers literally everything around you. Think about it for a second. That smartphone you're holding or watching me on, it was designed using components sourced from maybe a dozen different countries, manufactured in another, and then shipped to you. The food on your plate tonight, it traveled from farms through processing plants, distribution centers, and finally to your local grocery store. The clothes you're wearing right now trace a similar path from raw materials to finished garment to your closet. It's all interconnected, a complex global dance of movement and logistics. In today's world, when people think about stable, high-paying careers, their minds often jump to things like tech coding, finance, or maybe healthcare. Fields that typically require years of expensive university education and often seem susceptible to economic shifts and layoffs. They completely overlook a massive foundational industry that is not only resistant to economic downturns, but is perpetually always hiring. And here's the truly remarkable, almost counterintuitive part. This isn't some obscure niche. This industry is the very engine of global commerce. It's incredibly stable, offers fantastic earning potential, and in many cases, it doesn't demand a 4-year degree as a prerequisite for getting started. My name is Mark Potts, and I've dedicated the last 10 years of my career to navigating and understanding the intricacies of this vital sector, supply chain. More importantly, I've spent a significant amount of time coaching and mentoring individuals, many of whom are starting with absolutely no prior experience or even a clear idea of what supply chain was. In this video, I'm going to pull back the curtain and show you exactly why the supply chain industry is in a state of constant hiring, regardless of what the headlines might say about the economy. And most importantly, I'm going to reveal how you can break into this thriving field, starting with a completely free introductory course from Course Careers that can set you on the path to a secure and rewarding career. Let's dive in and break down this incredible opportunity. What is supply chain? So what exactly is the supply chain industry? At its core, it's the intricate network of everything involved in getting a product or service from its point of origin to the final consumer. Think of it as the journey of literally everything you see and use. It's not just about moving boxes from point A to point B, although that's part of it. It's about planning, sourcing, manufacturing, managing inventory, warehousing, transportation, distribution, and even reverse logistics of returns and recycling. Every single business, from the smallest local bakery to the largest multinational corporation, relies heavily on an efficient and effective supply chain to simply exist and function. Let's consider some examples we mentioned earlier, but in more detail. For a major smartphone company, the supply chain involves sourcing rare earth minerals from one continent, manufacturing microchips in another, assembling components in a third, and then shipping the finished product to markets all over the world. It's a global ballet of coordination and timing. For your local grocery store, the supply chain is a race against the clock. Fresh produce needs to be harvested, transported under specific temperature controls, inspected, and stocked on shelves before it spoils. Dairy products, baked goods, they all have their own unique logistical challenges that need to be managed with precision. In a hospital, a functioning supply chain can be the difference between life and death. They need a constant, reliable flow of sterile equipment, medications, and crucial supplies delivered precisely when and where they are needed, often on an emergency basis. Imagine a hospital running out of critical medication or a specific surgical instrument. The consequences are unthinkable. And who are the people making all of this happen? They are supply chain professionals. They are the planners who forecast demand, the buyers who source materials, the logistics specialists who figure out the most efficient routes, the inventory managers who ensure there's enough stock but not too much, the analysts who track shipments and identify potential delays, and the problem solvers who jump into action when unexpected issues arise, such like a port delay or transportation breakdown, or a sudden surge in demand. Without these dedicated individuals, the complex gears of global commerce would simply grind to a halt. Our stores would be empty, factories would stop production, and essential services couldn't function. This industry is not just important, it is the absolute backbone of modern daily life. Now the big question, why is this industry always hiring? The primary reason, and a powerful one, is its inherent resilience. Supply chain doesn't have the luxury of slowing down, regardless of economic climate. Think about it. When the economy is booming and companies are growing, they need more products to meet increased consumer demand. More products mean more raw materials to source, more manufacturing, more goods to store, and significantly more transportation and distribution. So during the good times, hiring in supply chain naturally increases to handle the higher volume. But here's where the recession-proof aspect really shines. When times are tough, when the economy slows down and consumer spending tightens in many discretionary areas, people and businesses still need essential goods and services. Grocery stores still need food. Hospitals still need medical supplies. Utility companies still need fuel and equipment. Even companies facing reduced demand still need to manage their existing inventory, optimize their logistics to cut costs, and plan for eventual recovery. The movement of goods doesn't stop. It simply shifts focus, perhaps emphasizing efficiency and cost savings. But the fundamental need for supply chain expertise remains. The COVID-19 pandemic was a stark, real-world demonstration of just how critical and yet vulnerable supply chains can be. We saw firsthand the chaos and shortages that occurred when these complex networks were disrupted. This experience was a massive wake-up call for businesses worldwide. Companies realized that they could not afford to neglect their supply chain infrastructure and, critically, the people who managed it. In the wake of the pandemic, there has been a massive sustained investment in strengthening and optimizing supply chains. This includes investing in technology, building more resilient networks, and most importantly, hiring and training skilled personnel at all levels. Warehouses are expanding and becoming more automated, but still need people to manage operations. Retailers are building out their e-commerce fulfillment capabilities. Manufacturers are rethinking their sourcing strategies. All of this activity requires a constant influx of talent. And crucially, this demand isn't just for seasoned executives with decades of experience. The sheer volume of activity means there's a massive and ongoing need for entry-level individuals who can learn the ropes and contribute to the daily operations. Which brings us to the types of jobs available. So what kind of roles are we talking about for someone looking to get their foot in the door without a degree or any extensive experience? One of the most common and crucial entry points is the supply chain coordinator, or a similar role like logistics coordinator or operations assistant. As a supply chain coordinator, you are essentially a key player in keeping things moving smoothly. Your daily tasks might involve tracking shipments in transit, updating inventory levels and specialized software systems, communicating with vendors and suppliers to confirm orders and delivery schedules, and troubleshooting minor issues that might arise. Maybe it's a delayed delivery or an incorrect order quantity. You're like the air traffic controller for goods, making sure everything is on schedule and that potential problems are identified and addressed quickly. You're the organizer, the communicator, and the behind-the-scenes hero who ensures products get where they need to be exactly when they're needed. The fantastic news is that for many of these entry-level positions, companies are increasingly focused on practical skills and a candidate's potential to learn rather than strictly requiring a 4-year bachelor's degree. The industry recognizes the urgent need for talent and is adapting its hiring practices. Many organizations are actively dropping degree requirements for roles where demonstrated skills and a willingness to learn are more valuable. This role, the supply chain coordinator, is your prime opportunity to step into a stable, growing career path without the burden of student loan debt. Now you might be wondering, what kind of companies are hiring for these roles? The simple answer is, well, everywhere. Because every business moves products or materials, supply chain jobs are incredibly pervasive across the entire economy. Yes, you've got the giants like Amazon and Tesla who have massive, complex supply chains and are constantly hiring. But so do major retailers like Target, Walmart, and virtually every store that you shop at. Food and beverage companies, hospitals and healthcare systems, automotive manufacturers, pharmaceutical companies, construction companies, they all depend on robust supply chain operations. And it's not just the big players. The explosion of e-commerce has created a huge demand for supply chain professionals in smaller online businesses and startups as well. Even nonprofits and government agencies have supply chain needs. These roles aren't just about physical labor in a warehouse. They involve critical thinking, using specialized software, and strong communication skills. If a business moves anything, they need someone to manage the logistics. So what kind of skills are companies actually looking for in these entry-level supply chain roles? Forget needing to be a coding prodigy or having an advanced degree in a niche subject. The most valuable skills in supply chain are often foundational and transferable. Are you organized and detail-oriented? Can you follow a process meticulously? Supply chain relies on accuracy and adherence to procedures. Are you good at solving problems and thinking on your feet? Things don't always go according to plan in logistics, and the ability to identify issues and find solutions is incredibly valuable. Are you a clear and effective communicator, both in writing and speaking? You'll be interacting with colleagues, vendors, and customers. Learning the use of basic software like Microsoft Excel is a huge asset, as are the willingness and ability to learn industry-specific tracking and inventory management systems. These are the tools you'll be trained on, but a comfort level with technology is definitely helpful. And here's something crucial that often gets overlooked. If you've ever worked in fast food, retail, or delivery service, you already possess valuable, transferable skills for supply chain. Think about it. You've had to manage timing, handle inventory, even if it was just knowing when to restock napkins or check if a menu item was available. You are also having to follow procedures under pressure. You've dealt with the flow of goods and customer demand on a micro level. Those experiences are absolutely relevant and demonstrate a foundation of the skills needed in the supply chain. This is where a program like Course Careers comes in. They understand that many people have these underlying skills but need help translating them into a professional supply chain context and learning the industry-specific knowledge and terminology that employers are looking for. With those existing capabilities and equip you with the targeted skills to become truly job ready without years of traditional academic study. So how do you actually take those skills and interests and turn them into a supply chain career, especially if you don't have direct industry experience or a relevant degree? The good news is you absolutely do not need to go back to school for 4 years and rack up tens of thousands of dollars in student loan debt. This is where Course Careers provides an incredible opportunity. They offer a completely free introductory course specifically for supply chain. This isn't just a basic overview. It's designed to give you a genuine feel for what a supply chain coordinator role entails on a day-to-day basis. In this free course, you'll get an inside look at the typical responsibilities, the kinds of problems you'd solve, and the tools you might use. It demystifies the role and helps you understand if it aligns with your interests and skills. You'll also learn about the practical steps in getting hired in this field, what kind of resumes and applications stand out, how to approach interviews, and how to leverage the skills that you already have. The beauty of this free course is that you can take it on your own pace and at your own schedule with absolutely no pressure or financial commitment. It's a risk-free way to gain real, actionable information about a potentially life-changing career path and decide if it's a right fit for you before you commit any time or money to further training. This is your chance to get a solid understanding and take the first concrete steps toward jumping into this in-demand industry. So there you have it, the supply chain industry. It's the invisible force behind our modern world. It's experiencing massive and sustained demand. It's incredibly stable and resistant to economic downturns. It offers excellent earnings potential and crucially, provides fantastic entry points for individuals without traditional degrees. If you're looking for a career that offers security, growth, and the chance to be a vital part of the global economy, supply chain is absolutely worth exploring. And the easiest, most risk-free way to start is with Course Careers' free introductory supply chain course. Click the link right below this video in the description. That free course will walk you through exactly what the job is like, the skills you need, and give you a clear roadmap on how to start your journey in supply chain step by step. This might not be the trendiest topic you'll see scrolling through social media, but I promise you, understanding and entering the supply chain industry can be your absolute ticket to a stable, well-paying, and future-proof career. I'm Mark Potts, and thanks so much for watching. I'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below and let me know if you're curious about the supply chain industry or if anything in this video surprised you. And if you found this video helpful, please hit that subscribe button for more insights and tips on building a successful career. I look forward to seeing you potentially taking that first step and checking out the free Course Careers course. We'll see you in the next video.